This fan has great performance, but it's kind of boring. Not anymore. Hey guys, Hardware Hound here, lover of all things RGB, and, well, yeah, you see it. Oh man, I think I might have gone too far this time, guys. But yes, we are here to review SilverStone's addressable RGB fan frames. So we have the FG142 and the FG122, and the only difference is that there's one for 120 millimeter fans and there's another with 140 millimeter fans. These are addressable RGB, so you can actually do multiple color patterns depending on the RGB controller you have. We're going to go ahead and take a closer look, talk a little bit about some of the requirements for these frames, and just blind you with RGB brightness. Oh man, it's gonna be fun. Okay, so really simple packaging. I mean, hey, RGB fan frame. About as obvious as it gets. And I mean, as obvious as it gets. It is a plastic white fan frame and it has addressable RGBs. So there's a little bit of a rubber anti-vibration strip here. So yeah, I like that. Should help to make sure we don't get a rattling noise with the fan frame, so that's good. Hey, I'm going to try to knock things over here. We have two types of connections here. So for starters, we have, well, let's bring this a little closer. This is the addressable, come on, wake up phone, there we go, you can do this. This is the addressable 3-pin. They also have an addressable 4-pin. Now, let's really point out something about these guys here. Do not plug this into a 4-pin. There's a reason why that one hole there is sealed. This is not meant to go into a 4-pin 12-volt RGB header. Yeah, I was thinking of the word. Just that's all. These have to be 5-volt addressable RGBs. If it doesn't say addressable or something that gives you multiple lighting effect type levels, then that, come on. Why does my camera never want to wake up? Oh, there it goes. It woke up again. So yeah, don't plug these into 12-volt. You'll probably burn out these LEDs really quick. Now the fan frames only come with the normal typical fan screws. There you go. So keep that in mind. We're going to look now and see how these guys install on a radiator. It's always bothered me that the Kraken doesn't have RGB fans for the radiator. I mean, come on, why not? We're going to fix that today. So there's something that we need to understand. So these fans, they have this little bit of, wake up, there we go, this rubber kind of anti-vibration thing in the mounting holes. And so what that's going to do is going to make this guy here, let's see if I can get this guy to work the way I want it to. See that little indent here, or this little thingy? Man, what's the thingy called? You guys know this thingy. This will normally slip into the hole of the fan, but because of the rubber part, it doesn't quite work out the way I want it to. So what I had to do is kind of push it and force it. And so as I get it in, it kind of pushes out, kind of see it right there, just kind of pushed out that little rubber anti-vibration pad, and it kind of sticks in there. And then I can use the longer radiator screws to screw it in. So that does work, but just keep in mind that these are more designed for regular case fans than, you know, full-on radiator fans. Okay, so when you're just installing the frame right on the side of a case fan that's already installed like this, it's really easy. So I've already got 3 of the screws in. Just going to do my last one here, and all I have to do is use those little fan screws that are included. You know, make sure it lines up to the hole. and they seem to thread in really nicely. They're not super tight, super hard. Look at that, real easy. So I need to swap out a CPU cooler. We need to get this, oh man, this is gonna be a light show, guys. You haven't seen nothing yet. Oh my word, guys. What was I thinking? Oh, okay, I'm sorry, I'm gonna say it. You're not gonna believe I'm gonna say this. You probably should believe I'm gonna say this. This might be too much RGB. But it's kind of fantastic. So look at how these guys light up. So remember, the key thing is that the lighting controls are not built into the fans, there's this word that I'm trying to say. Fan frames, yes, that word. They're not built in the fan frames themselves, so you've got to have that addressable RGB controller. I do see one kind of issue though. There was something about these that weren't, they're super bright. And I wouldn't mind seeing maybe an option to tone them down or something, I don't know. But really there's one thing that contrasts these fan frames that I kind of would like to see Silverstone maybe upgrade them to on another revision. And you see it right here. See this Gamdius power supply? See how smooth the light is? And see how on these fan frames we can see light. I'd like to see these disperse so it's a smooth light ring. We don't see these individual spots lit up like that. But right now I'm using a Lamptron CL420 to control all this. So as you can see, we can start doing all kinds of control and all kinds of different colors. So depending on what kind of control your motherboard or your LED controller has, you'll have a lot of options here. And this Lamptron thing has some pretty cool options. In fact, I want to get to a couple different things like that. That's fun. Or that. This is the CL420, guys, from Lamptron. It's a decent little controller for LEDs and fans. Keep going through some colors here, and there's one that's kind of fun, like this one here. It's kind of cool because it just does this, where it just keeps changing the colors like that. So there you go, guys. That is Silverstone's fan frames. I think it's time for us to talk about awards and wrapping this review up. All right, guys, so I checked out availability on the US side of things, and Silverstone's still working on that. I'm pretty confident that these guys will show up on Amazon and Newegg once all the stock and, you know, shipment issues and all that stuff get worked out. So for now, I'm going to just kind of bounce off the price of the previous fan frames that also had the grill that looked like the snowflake. Those were the FG141 and 121. Both of those frames are under 15 bucks on Amazon. Now, they're not addressable. They will only do one color at a time. But I have a sneaking suspicion that these guys wouldn't cost a whole lot more. Even at $30 per fan frame, that's not terrible. If Silverstone is anywhere under $20 per these fan frames, dang, guys, I think it's a great price. I'm going to go out on a limb, and I'm going to go ahead and award both of these fan frames from Silverstone the Pure Overclock Editor's Choice Award. You know, you may not like the way the lights pop out in some ways, or you may want that to be a little smoother. Maybe you want something a little dimmer. I get that. It's hard to gauge personal preference, but what I know is Silverstone made a fantastic product, and it performs excellently at shining. Oh man, guys, I don't think I'm gonna be able to see for a week after how long I've had to stare at this computer. Oh boy. Silverstone doing a great job. I can see some areas where they can go even farther with this, but I appreciate it. Guys, let me know what you think of this review. If you can still see and type on your keyboard, let me know in the comments below what you think of this amount of RGB awesomeness. I had to do it, guys. I had to. I couldn't resist. I'll catch you later.